For me, it's the first time to be here, and it's packed. The place is packed. There's a lot of attention, national interest coming here. The number of exhibitors is just, half of them I didn't know before. So there's both, let's say, the traditional ones, call it us, and other major suppliers or partners in the industry, but also all these initiatives of different startups, etc. So it's bustling. It is, I think it's almost double amount of participants compared to the previous one, and this will go on, because there's so much exchange of knowledge and partnership built up here, and I think ultimately also what's still not very present, that's the customer's presence. Some very big operators are here, they are very well positioned, but I think this will kind of start attracting in the coming years to get increased knowledge, to build on this relationship and partnerships. So I think this will be the point to meet. The big operators are here. They're very present. They're very integrated in this whole, let's say, value chain with all the different stakeholders. I won't mention one, so I don't forget one. But I think, again, there is a lot of exploration, a lot of learning to be done here, just in these, both in the discussion, the panels, but to be close to the different players here, all from, let's say, the charging station suppliers, the component manufacturers, everybody's here. So, the learning curve is quite steep now. And I think this that we have ahead of us, there's no truth in this. We're kind of exploring new terrain. So the future will be very much more, let's say, I would call it partnership-based relationships for true and not as transactional as it is in the past. So I think this move, everybody's always talked about partnership, it's been there, but we need to get even tighter through the whole value chain. And events like this is just like spurring it. The whole model around charging, both, the stakeholders are utility companies, energy companies, eventually big operators, us as OEMs, different finance or funding firms like we've already seen moving into it. So there's a big number of partnerships that are going to be established. And well, I think if we also get on top, get more both the state and the federal authorities on board on what is needed to put some speed in this, I think then this will start moving fast. We're stating a lot of regulations on where we need to be on the future when it comes to greenhouse and all of that ramp up. But this goes without saying that there's also, it's not only a take, it's a give here. The private sector is moving fast. There's no need really to push us to go faster. We see this as the future. We see this where you have, let's say, both the environmental concern and the economical, let's say the business case around this, it's there. So we need to get this going also. Both on the charging infrastructure and above all the grid infrastructure. The development is going so fast, and I think we will have, let's say in the coming 4 to 5 years, there will be huge advances when it comes to battery technology. All these resources coming in now and really going to a ultimate, let's say, chemistry composition in commercial vehicles, it's happening as we speak. So of course, batteries will evolve very fast. So there's let's say a circular thinking around today's batteries. The first ones that come out, first ones are many years. Well, there is a given second use for them. In stationary and standby and all of that, because the degradation level is, call it almost surprisingly low. So there's still a lot of, let's say, capacity in those batteries that will come out, let's say, in the market 5-6 years from now. So we need to find a way together, all of us, and it's not like a question of, let's say, I would say shoveling around risk or let's say investment, but we need to all be part of this. What is the role of the OEM, the financing, the operator, and how can we get this act together is of course something that we're addressing. And over time, if you say as we go forward into this, the need of stationary and standby might be covered, but then we're looking into completely other, let's say, circular economy usage of the batteries, because it's a resource efficiency question also. Today we debate a lot about will there be enough raw material, prime materials to source all of this? Of course, the batteries out there will be reused. So everything's not incremental. So this we also have to figure out the way forward. I say fuel cell development, we need to be clear where we want to go most heavy into investment. We cannot be everywhere. Said that, there's a lot of good companies working with fuel cells and hydrogen today. We're working on a number of partnerships, some already established and some are to be established. So we can find, let's say, because all of these are also depending on a critical volume and mass. So, I mean, we will not build it ourselves. It's not needed. There are good players out there. So we're, like Navistar, always been successful in doing with close partnership. But when it comes to battery, it becomes core proprietary. So we will work with both, definitely. There will be a segment that will hardly ever be covered by batteries. Maybe, I mean, sit here and guess about that. That would be, let's say, just, I mean, it doesn't make sense. But maybe 15, 20 years away from now, batteries will be there. But I mean, in the horizon of the really need in the coming, let's say, up to 2030 and beyond that, fuel cell will have its given place, and we will have, let's say, established well-working partnerships on that.
For more information, go to ccjdigital.com.